We live in a hectic, chaotic, and loud world. We are constantly bombarded with the perspectives and opinions of other people. So much feels fake and fabricated, and we often rely on our friends to keep things real for us, to keep us grounded in reality. But what if I told you that friendships aren't real either? Welcome to Mission Undercut. It's really important for us to understand what friendship is really about. In modern society, the ideal of friendship has been so firmly diluted. Before, it used to be about deep and authentic connection, but now it's about resonance of material value. It's about resonance of social position. True friendship isn't about common interests or shared hobbies. It's about that deep connection. That means that the most important factor that should determine friendship is values. Do your values align with someone in an earnest and sincere manner? Do you have a deep feeling of gratitude and appreciation for someone, even if they're not similar to you in their interests and in the beliefs that they have? Ask yourself these questions and think about whether the people that you're friends with are people that should remain as your friends, are people that you should maintain as being close to you. If their values don't align with yours, if their ethics don't align with the way that you view society and that you view the world, can you really maintain a deep and authentic connection with each other? It's very difficult to do so. The truth is that friends aren't really supposed to be similar to each other. Many of my friends aren't similar to me at all. Many of them are different to me, different interests, different characters, different personalities. And that's a healthy way of doing things. If everyone was similar and hung around with similar people, then obviously there'd be no variation in society, and the issues that we would see across society would be similar. That would be in one way easy, but also in one way a nightmare, because we'd have to tackle the same issue over and over again, because one personality lends itself towards one certain type of problem. But similarity in your social circle is actually more of a problem for you, because you're not getting exposed to new and different experiences and perspectives. And that's limiting your development. That's limiting your worldview. That's limiting your beliefs. And then we see that type of similar effect to an echo chamber, like what we see on social media. You keep on seeing stuff that affirms your existing perspectives, affirms your existing preconceptions and experiences. That's why it's so important to have both new experiences and a variety of different personalities that you interact with, a variety of different types of people. That helps you to understand what different people are thinking. And it also helps take you out of that bubble that you're always living in, that sense of confirmation bias that always makes you the person who's correct, that always tells you that you are in the right. Instead, you should have someone who can tell you that no, this is not the way that you should do a certain thing. This is not the belief that you should have. Someone that can help ground you in reality. This is especially important in a world of falsehood, where the lines of reality are blurred and mangled and distorted. It is especially important to have reality grounding you from all sides, taking you out of that preconception and stereotypes and echo chamber. But it's still important to remember that you can grant people your loyalty if you believe sincerely and deeply in their innate morality, and if you feel that deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the experiences you've shared together. Here's another lens that you can look at it from. If you faced difficulty, would the person you're friends with help you and support you, even if they had to sacrifice something themselves? Consider this perspective. If you think that they would do so, that means that there is a deep sense of connection and loyalty and appreciation. But if you are doubtful about that, then the strain of your relationship, the connection, isn't as strong as you would have perceived. Because if the complete and utter highest level of test and strain upon a relationship is difficulty and suffering. That is why the strongest relationships and strongest communities and strongest families survive through difficulty and suffering. You see the communities that are being oppressed under the yoke of capitalist oppression and empire across our world. You see throughout history how the oppressed and the suppressed, the repressed, were able to maintain their position, were able to maintain their strength through difficulty. That was because their communities were strong and they weathered adversity. But our communities, our groups, our societies do not face the same level of adversity We are shielded beneath the blanket and veil of comfort. That is why it is important to have authenticity of connection and engaging in possible perspectives that help to understand whether loyalty is deeply held, whether connection is deeply received and appreciated. Another thing to reflect on is how should you behave based on who your friends are? Who are the people that are in your social circle? It's not healthy to believe that you should change your personality and character just because it's different to the people around you. And this is because there is a place ordained in the world for people like them, and there's a place ordained in the world for people like you. The world exists in a delicate balance of two, a balance of two sides in many spheres. Oppression against injustice, night against day, flamboyance against reticence, hope against hatred. Not everyone can be open and expressive. Some people are more reticent and reserved. That's just the way and balance of the world. That's the way and balance of society. And that's what maintains and preserves morality and balance within society to prevent social and moral decay. If your friends can't accept you for who you are, do they really have your best interests at heart? It is unlikely that they do. If everyone was the same, if there was homogeneous levels of personality, if everyone was flamboyant and exuberant, there would be no balance in society. Restraint and reservation is necessary to preserve morality in society and keep the balance, to prevent an excess capacity of confidence. Because if there's everyone going forward confidently and exuberantly towards their goals, if everyone is violently and openly and outwardly expressive, then we will see competing perspectives crowding each other out, and there'll be no voice of reason or balance. You see this sycophancy in the White House today. You see this type of echo chamber again. Trump, in his first term, had people of opposing perspective within his inner circle, but this time he has the same level of people that are very similar to him. The people who are violently expressive, that are strong and powerful in their demeanor and in their worldview. This strength, this hawkish perspective, has seeped into his decisions and has prevented the restraints that are act as a check and balance upon power. Similarly, if you don't have a check and balance, then your power will be overblown and that will lead to abuses. So it is essential that we maintain that balance to preserve the morality of society. So practically, this means that everyone should have a friend that has a character that completely opposes theirs and contradicts theirs. You should always be friends with someone who's different to you to make sure that you're not in that bubble and that you have someone who can drive you to improve yourself and to refine your character and personality rather than just confirming your existing perspectives. It also makes sure that you don't become arrogant, that you don't think that the way you're living your life is the best way to live your life. It presents you alternative views which you can try and consider to try and build the best possible life and community for yourself. This makes sure that if you do go on the wrong path, or if you are struggling, your friends can pull you out of the darkness and despair back into the light. That's what community is for. That's what connections are for. That's what relationships are for, to support you and to act as a shield and blanket of comfort in times of difficulty. Another thing to remember is this: 90% of the stuff that you say in conversation with others is not remembered by the people you talk to. No one cares or thinks about you as much as your brain tricks you into believing that they do. So don't be afraid to speak your mind and to voice your perspectives and beliefs. But also remember that you have to be careful about what you say as well. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Speak good or keep silent." Then you also have to make sure that the other precious 10% is memorable. Make that precious 10% powerful. Make it reflect your values and ambitions. The more you hide or conceal from people, the less deep your connection with them will be. So it's really important to take the time to feel comfortable and open up to people around you. Islam also advises us that we only share our deepest secrets and our deepest beliefs with our closest Muslim brothers. This perspective is helpful even for non-Muslims because it means that you make your deepest connections with those who have the same values as you, not hobbies or interests, but ethics and values. This now leads to an important question. How do we define our values in the modern world? There are three ways to do this. The first one is the most important one: politics. You'll never understand your own moral boundaries if you are disengaged from political realities. You need to explore thorny issues like war, wealth, and justice to understand what your moral red lines are. Second is philosophy. What values motivate people? What do we even mean by values and morality? What do they even mean? Philosophy allows us to reflect deeply and have that introspection about different perspectives and concepts and beliefs that we have. It gives us space to understand ourselves. And then finally, literature. Reading gives you emotional intelligence and moral understanding. It exposes you to unfamiliar and uncomfortable themes and situations and sheds light upon society that you live in and what people's different perspectives are about both moral issues and societal issues. Books are a rich way to improve your moral intelligence. Final thing I'll say is once you define your values, you have to find people who align with them and audit your existing friendships and relationships. If you have toxic people close to you, or people who oppose your values, ethics, and beliefs, you can cut them out. You are the captain of the ship. You are in control of your life, and only you can take charge of improving it. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and follow. This has been Mission Undercover, and I hope to see you all next time.